Yo, this is the state of emergency. Check. I need all my Knicks fans right now to grab your jerseys, your popcorn, your sodas, whatever you gotta do to get ready for this game. I don't care if you're a cheerleader, an athlete, a couch potato. We're here to restore the field. Matter of fact, how do you say it from New York? What I say it from New York? Hey yo, let's go now.
Hey yo, I bring that New York energy. Talking 42nd Street, alley hoop finger roll. Ain't nobody checking me. Crossover through the legs, step back, hit a three. Still up in the hood, but got big baller tendencies. She just trying to get flued out to John Kennedy, just to see the Knicks play, make a couple memories. New York, if you ain't from here, don't pretend to be. And if you ain't rocking with the Knicks, you an enemy. Yeah, look at us, whole city is wild. This is New York, why y'all ever counted us out? Any game we attend, yeah, we taking it now. Fast break on the court, all up and down. Lead a garden in the pigsty, yeah, we get it on this side. Bacon, egg, and cheese, or the lobster mac with the ribeye. Either way, we winning the overtime if we get tired. Get it with the team, yeah, that's just something we live by. Hey, yo, first quarter end, we gon' turn it up. Gotta warm up first, then we taking it dub. By the third quarter end, no, they ain't catching up. Gotta stay in the lead before that shot clock buzz. If the Knicks get a win, we gon' do it again. Make the finals once before, we gon' do it again. Bounce back in the fourth, we gon' do it again. It's been a while since the chip, but we gon' do it again, yeah.
Yo, put your hands up. If you rockin' with the Knicks, put your hands up. Yo, put your hands up. If you from New York, put your hands up. Yo, look, put your hands up. If you rockin' with the Knicks, put your hands up. Look, put your hands up. Hey yo, New York City, put your hands up. Sky, baby.
What up? What's going on, everybody? It's the Church Guys Sports Show for Tuesday night, the 29th of April 2025. Post-game show energy tonight as we watched Game 5 of Knicks Pistons, where the Knicks didn't get it done tonight. Knicks fall 106 to 103 in Game 5 here tonight at Madison Square Garden. The Pistons pull off what amounts to an upset win on tonight. There's a lot that we have to cover on tonight. We're going to get some of the MSG post game. We'll get the coaches press conferences, talking to players afterwards, going into get what will be Game 6 coming up later this week as Bishop J Mac joins us. J Mac, what's going on?
What's happening, my friend?
Tough loss tonight, 106-103, the final score. Join us in the comments. Y'all do us a favor, like, share, tag, and comment. Knicks versus the refs tonight. Sam Jennings starts off our comment section with that. I got a take on that. I'm not gonna kill the refs for tonight. I'm not.
Me either.
I'm not.
I can't.
This was, and I mean, I'm not gonna kill Tibbs as much as I normally would tonight, but I will say this: the moment that you saw very early in the game that the refs were going to call this game tighter, you've got to have your defense adjust. There's no reason why there were so many Knicks in foul trouble tonight. The Knicks were in foul trouble because the refs made it a point to make sure that this overly physical series for the first 4 games did not continue to be physical tonight. And the refs made their statement early, and neither team really adjusted, to be honest with you. The Knicks nor the Pistons. Now, here's the thing. I did not expect the Pistons to adjust because the Pistons are that young, inexperienced team. What I didn't bank on was for the experienced team not to adjust and have their major players in foul trouble. Because I'm yelling at my TV, and I'm sure J-Mac as well was yelling, stop reaching. Like the game is being called tight. Keep your hands back. Just keep a body in front of them. If you make them take a tough shot and they make it, you live with it. Kind of the way Cade played in the second half. Cade picked up 3 quick fouls. Kudos to Cade. He adjusted defensively. He contested without fouling. Even on that shot that OG hit that almost sent us into a frenzy because OG almost got us back into this game. Cade defended that perfectly. And you just tip your hat to the shooter. He made the shot. But you couldn't have defended that better without fouling. You couldn't have. And that's what the Knicks did not do tonight. They sent them to the line one too many times. Then they missed 10 free throws. You can't miss 10 free throws in a 3-point game. You can't. Bishop Greg Kaplan, we're not talking about the Cavaliers tonight. It's a Knicks show, Bishop.
They blew the Miami Heat about 55
what they
points.
did to Miami.
There's
We'll get to
nothing
that
else
later
to
in the
talk
show.
about. Yeah.
But what they did to Miami last night was ugly. That was ugly. My brother, Pastor Larry, yeah, that's all you can do is face palm, bro. That's all you can do.
Also, I mean, I didn't really feel the Knicks didn't have a rhythm tonight.
No, and that it was the foul trouble.
Yeah,
because they did the
yeah,
one thing.
Yeah. Yo, go ahead.
Jamel, no, I wanted to address Jamel's point here. He said Coach Tibbs lost that for us. Listen, I am not counting on Coach Tibbs to win or lose a game for us at this point unless he makes egregious stuff. He did not do that tonight. I'm not going to kill him. And I'll be the first to kill Tibbs when he makes bonehead decisions. The one thing that I will say that he didn't do is during that first TV timeout, you call your team in, you calm them down, and you point out and say, hey, does everybody see how this game's going to be officiated? Everybody chill out. We're not going to be overly aggressive. The Knicks got caught up in the Piston hype tonight. What was that Cat was doing with that and one against Tobias? I'm like, we don't need that. Just be poised, be professional. Let them be young and stupid. The Pistons lured them into their kind of game tonight.
It was a Pistons game. I mean, yeah, the final score was 106-103, but
But that's how Detroit wants to play. They want to get under your skin. They want to make it a fight in the trenches rather than scoring baskets. They want to make it that. JB gets a tech. What are you getting a tech for? Yes, we know Cade carried the ball. He did. 3 officials missed it. So what? Play defense.
They've been missing calls all series. Why are you tripping tonight? You know,
on that last steal, you got the steal. Why are you trying to throw it off of Holland? Throw it to one of your teammates.
I mean, like I said, there was just no rhythm tonight. We saw stuff out there that the Knicks normally don't do. They were looking for Robinson in traffic 3 times. They're passing the ball to Mitchell Robinson in traffic. They've never done
4 times.
Yeah, I said 3, but you're right. It was 4. I'm like, you don't do that. What are you doing?
Right.
Why are you doing that tonight?
And I couldn't be mad at Mitch for not being ready for those passes because even I'm sure, like, y'all don't throw me the ball. What are we doing?
Right. I'm if I'm not in the dunk spot, y'all don't throw me the ball. So what are we doing?
You throwing Mitch the ball 5 feet from the basket in the paint. What are we doing? We've never done that.
Again, it was just no rhythm. It was just disjointed. It was just a weird game. Even when the Knicks went up, I didn't feel comfortable because of the flow.
It never felt comfortable. I agree.
Yeah.
This game never felt comfortable.
I never felt comfortable with this game. Cat, I think, waited too long. I think he was waiting for JB. That's why I say I think they're still learning each other, this team. Unfortunately, they are. Because if JB is getting double teamed and you don't have it, then okay. I think Bridges waited too late. Anunoby carried the team in the first half.
He did. He absolutely did. And Anunoby was the only one early on who was in attack mode. He was the only one that was in attack mode, like he was trying to end this series tonight. When he got the ball, he was going to the cup. He was looking for his shot.
Late in the game, they just 1-5 flat. We're gonna pick and roll you till we get the switch. We either gonna put JB on the switch with Cade, or it's gonna be McBride on the switch with Cade, so he can shoot right over the top, non-contested.
Right, and he's stronger than both of them. He's 6'4", 225. He's stronger than both of them. Again, taking another thing, and I always say this, like, Deuce is a plus defender against smaller guards. He did a great job on Dennis Schroeder. He did a great job on Malik Beasley, but he gets switched on to Cade. He's on an island with Cade Cunningham. Yeah, no.
And Deuce's shot has been off this series.
Yeah.
We've been waiting for him, but
But
I mean,
it's been a lack of rhythm because the inconsistency of those minutes. That's the one thing I will give. Jamel says my beef with Tibbs is not using that timeout with your 2 stars, getting in with 2 minutes to go. You got to get your guys in. I mean, I understand the logic, but they were down to their final timeout. Here's my issue: when he burned that timeout in the middle of the 3rd quarter, when the Knicks were actually on a run and Detroit scored, and then he burned a timeout. Then I'm like, what are you doing?
right,
Because
that
you
was the
still
one.
have
Yeah, I
that
remember that.
timeout. You still have another timeout if you don't burn a timeout there. Because
Yeah.
guys are gonna cut into your run. You don't burn a timeout there. You don't. And that absolutely can't happen. And you're right. You need to have 2 timeouts left because you got to get your guys back in. Really didn't want to go back to Detroit. Bishop L, where you at? Why are you not on here? Didn't want to go back to Detroit. We can still close it out in 6 though. Listen, I'm still confident the Knicks will win this series. I just wanted this thing over tonight because Boston is looming, and now we don't know the extent of. I mean, I'm sure both JB and Josh Hart are playing in the next game, but we don't know the extent of that injury. JB's ankle is still not together yet. I would not be surprised, knowing the Knicks, if the season ends and right around midsummer, right around July 4th, we get word that JB had off-season surgery on that ankle. Would not surprise me. But JB is a gamer. He's a dog, and he's gonna go out there. I know he is. He's gonna give us his very best, and I appreciate that. But at the end of this game, like this,
It was just a weird, disjointed game, bro. It's one of those. It's one of those like you. I mean, other than the 3-point shooting, the free throws and the 3-point shooting were horrible tonight. Were horrible. Were horrible. The 3-point percentage was bad. It was so nasty tonight. We could not knock down threes. We couldn't hit threes.
And I would say in a game that you know is being called tighter, this is the time to go to the basket. Let's get away from the 3-point shot. Go to the cup. Go to the basket. Because tonight you're gonna get those calls that you didn't get in the first 4 games. The ref showed you that early. You're going to get those calls. Cade went to the line 11 times tonight. I'm sorry, 8 times tonight. Cade went to the line 8 times tonight. Cade finished with 24 and Cade we did a great job on Cade again. Cade was 6 of 17.
And he did his damage at the free throw line too. Cat. I think if we want to criticize something, I think we needed to put Cat on the block more.
Absolutely.
And I think we need to put Cat on the block more. I think we need to find a way to get Mikal Bridges involved early.
Absolutely.
I think those are the 2 things that I would pick out. That we didn't get Bridges involved early enough. I think he had 2 points at the half or something like that, 4 points at the half. He did come to life in the second half.
He finished with 17. I mean,
Yeah.
all 5 starters were in double figures tonight.
Yeah.
Mitchell Robinson had a double-double tonight. But, I mean, if I told you all 5 Knicks starters were in double figures and Mitchell Robinson was going to put up his first double-double of the season tonight, you would have thought that I would be saying, and the Knicks won. Because that's what normally happens when you get the kind of and honestly, the Knicks didn't shoot poorly except from 3. They were 43% from the game from the floor, which it's about playoff average for a team. But they shot 36% from 3, 9 of 25. I think
Horrible.
25 3-point attempts is too many.
For
Once
this
again,
team,
they held
for this Knicks team, yes.
Yeah. They once again they held Detroit to 27% from 3. So again, they defended the 3 well.
And they got a little serendipity, Detroit did. Every time they would
They
make a
did.
defensive play, the ball would bounce to Durant, and he would be right there to put it in. And, they got a lot of bounces. I mean,
But that's the importance of having the Mitch was so disruptive with the double big lineup. Because Mitch showed Detroit tonight, we can go double big on y'all because I can guard anybody anywhere.
Even out on the perimeter, he was
Yeah.
guarded tonight, which was very
So
good to
to
see.
go away from that, right, Larry? Knicks played the Pistons game tonight. I ain't going that far. I'm not saying them young boys about that life. I don't really feel that way. I still think the Pistons are fake tough. Yep, and they said the refs been missing calls all season. Absolutely, they've been missing calls all season. So why are we complaining now?
I'm not complaining.
No, I'm talking about the players.
Yeah.
Like there were way too many gripes tonight. Josh Hart got hit in the head twice. Yes, he did. Both times. They're not gonna give you the call, Josh.
And what's the guy, the black guy named ref with the ball head? I never liked him. He's
Davis,
horrible. Yes.
well, I mean, it was a perfect storm tonight because they had Davis and Jason Goble on the floor. Jason Goble is the infamous referee for who last season called that foul on Jalen Brunson in Houston on that 3-point shot. That was Jason Goble. He is that infamous official. That was Jason Goble. The Knicks record in games where I checked it earlier. The Knicks record in games that Jason Goble officiates is 11-13. So he's terrible. It was ugly, Larry. It was absolutely ugly.
But that's what Detroit wants.
Ugly.
They want ugly basketball.
Tibbs is at the podium. Let's check it out.
Your overall thoughts on the officiating today?
It is what it is.
Coach, how hard is it for players to adjust when the game is just called differently, right? From the first couple of games, it was very physical, both sides. This one, it seemed like they were calling touch fouls versus before. What's it like for a player to adjust? What's the message to them to adjust?
You got to adjust the way they call it.
When Steph was
True.
referencing, you were, I think, one foul away from the bonus. Is that why you chose not to foul there, too, to stop the clock, to get those guys in?
Just coach's decision.
Tom, just more specifically on that, like when you have one timeout in that situation, you obviously don't want to go into the close part of the game and the end of the game with no timeouts. What are you weighing there in order to try to get guys in? Like, is there a marker that you're waiting for in
Well,
time?
you're looking time, score, penalty, timeouts, all of the above. What's happening in the game? Do you feel like the next possession, we'll put it away? Like, there's a lot that goes into it.
Tom, you talked before the game about the focus on tonight, but again, a 10-point deficit in the second half. You see the same sort of things third quarter.
Yeah, we got to play for 48 minutes.
Just what was Josh Hart dealing with when he briefly left?
I haven't talked to medical. He had to go out. Jalen had to go out. OG had to go out.
Going back to Detroit, Coach, what message do you send to the guys?
The challenge is to reset. Every game's different, and take a look at the film, see what we could do better, and be ready to go next game.
Tom, the crunch time in the fourth quarter. I know you talked a couple games ago about wanting to kind of get into the offense quicker. It seemed like you guys were getting into your sets a little bit late in the fourth. Was that something that you felt like was a problem, or do you think?
Well, yeah, we had some guys that were out, so that's the challenge. We didn't know when they were coming back, if they were coming back, so that's part of it. So you got different combinations out there.
Coach, can you talk about what Mitch gave you guys tonight?
Yeah, I thought he gave us good lift, good energy. The rebounding was good enough. Defense was good enough. Our turnovers hurt us, so we got to clean that up. Yep.
All right, so here's the situation.
So Coach basically said nothing in this, and I get it. He's upset. You can clearly see it in his eyes. He knows they gave this game away. It's clear. A lot of being made about that final 2-minute moment. I do understand his response there. It's a coaching decision. You got to make a choice there. As a coach, you don't want to be in that position. Larry, cut that out. Deuce on the nose candy. Cut it out. But it's tough though. There in those minutes to make those kind of judgment calls. And he's right, like he said. Those guys go out. You don't know when they're coming back, if they're coming back. So you just gotta kind of make a decision and just kind of roll with it. And the decision was we're gonna roll with. Now, see, here's my thing. I wouldn't have gone to Deuce there. You go to Cam, and you go to Landry. That's who I would have gone to there. Because Landry is a little bit taller. He's a bit of a dog on defense. He's not as good a defender as Deuce, but he is serviceable, and he's 6'4", so he doesn't give up that height advantage if he gets switched on the Cade. Not to mention, he is a three-point shooting threat whom Detroit would have to honor. And the fact that Deuce wasn't making those shots, you got to try something. I just feel like as a coach, in moments like that, granted, it wasn't a do or die game, but you got to try something. If the goal is to close it out, you throw everything but the kitchen sink at a team because we're trying to end this series tonight.
Got to play Game 5 like it's Game 7.
So right. So if I'm trying to end this series tonight, if I give Deuce a couple minutes and it's not there, you keep saying next man up. Well, get the next man up. Get the next man up. Not me, Willie. I don't know what you mean.
He shortened the rotation tonight. Tibbs. Did he go 7? He went 8. He went 8 deep tonight.
He went 8 tonight. Giving them young boys confidence is a bad thing. I do agree with that, Larry. And going back to Little Caesars, it's going to be a hostile arena. I completely disagree with this take, Willie, because the Knicks offensively are Willie. I get mad when you make takes like this because you know ball. This was a top 5 offense this year. You can't say the Knicks are not good enough offensively to get away from it, to get away from Detroit. They got bogged down playing Detroit's game tonight. They were a top 5 offense this season.
Willie be trolling. He know how to get under our skin when they lose. That's what he's doing.
You can't make a statement like that when the facts say something completely different.
Willie
look at stats just like we do, Willie.
Willie. You know he's trolling. He's trolling.
Well, Butler, we've been saying this literally since we started this show. These low top sneakers. I still don't wear low top sneakers. Well, no, I do for fashion.
I wouldn't play ball.
But I would never play ball in them. Absolutely. When I coach my team and I'm because I'm going to practice, I know I'm going to run a bit. I got on at least 3/4 going on the court with a bunch of 8, 9-year-olds, and I'm the coach. So I don't plan on doing nothing strenuous. But I'm not taking no chances with my ankles. None. J-Mac, this is for you. Keisha said, "Where's her apology?" She's still asking for her apology.
It's in the mail.
It's in the mail. Bishop Heflin, yeah. It looks like Boston's going to end that series tonight, which is why I needed the Knicks to end their series. Because what's going to happen is Knicks are going to go to Detroit. They win on Thursday. The next series starts on Sunday. So instead of them having some time off before the next series starts on Sunday, Boston will have the benefit of 5 days. The Knicks will only have 3. Now, some would say from a rhythm perspective, that might be good for New York, but from them being banged up, it's not.
Doesn't give JB time to heal up. Or Josh Hart. We don't know what's wrong with Josh Hart.
We don't know what's wrong. Bridges missed key shots, and what was Cat shooting Steph Curry 3? Listen, I'm not mad at Cat. He made them.
He made a key one.
Listen.
I was like, bad back, good shot on that last one he made.
As much as I hate the logo 3, Cat makes it. JB Bickerstaff is at the... No, I don't... Never mind. I was going to put JB up. I don't want to listen to JB because he's just going to whine about officiating.
He's such a crybaby.
I've never seen anything like this. Bernie Bickerstaff is turning over in his grave. Because his father was a tough dude. A legit tough dude who didn't whine, who got after his team and kind of left the officials alone. Because Bernie Bickerstaff was a really good NBA coach. But moving on. Jamel says, we're going to win this series, but we cannot win against Boston playing this way. Well,
but tonight, tonight's game is not indicative of the Knicks. That's why tonight is just, like I said, it's just a different feel. And I know they lost, but it's just different. It was just a weird feel tonight. It was
off.
Disjointed.
It was off, and it started with literally a minute into the game when they called that first foul on Josh Hart, and I said, "Oh, they're calling it tight tonight." But I feel like you had to expect that. You had to expect that if you're the Knicks, though, because of the way the last game ended.
You gotta expect that going in. You
gotta know that the officials met before the game and said, "We're gonna call this tight because if it comes down to it."
The league met with this officials team. They probably had a Zoom and everything. I'm
sure of it. I'm sure of it. Listen, people, y'all don't realize this, but officials have scouting reports on teams too,
and players. Yes.
So this is everybody. The players have scouting reports on officials. The teams have scouting reports on officials. They have scouting reports on each other, and officials have scouting reports on teams and players as well.
And they know their tendencies. Yes.
They know what their tendencies. They know what to look for, and if they see it, that's how they're gonna call it. That's what's gonna happen.
You know what was a key stretch too? They let Tobias Harris get off. He had that stretch where he scored like 7, 8 straight points.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Tobias was
after he got busted in the face. Yep.
Yeah, he hit those shots. You know, like you said, I just didn't like Cat getting in his face. I didn't like that.
Yeah, it wasn't necessary. Number one, we're at home. Number two, we're up 3-1. Forget what Tobias Harris is doing. Who cares? Just play. Play.
Yeah, play, man.
Dave said the refs had to make up for the Hardaway no call. No, that's not what happened.
Nah, that's not what happened tonight.
That's not what happened.
Nah.
The refs did not do a. The refs didn't do a poor job tonight.
The refs did not impose their will on this game.
No, the refs didn't do a poor job tonight. I'm not mad at the officiating.
Nah.
No,
this was the Knicks' execution tonight. It was execution. It was they lost this game at the 3-point line and the free throw line. Mm-hmm. That's where this game was lost. They lost.
Yes,
the game.
Bishop Heflin. Yes, Tibbs was short and pissed with his answers. He absolutely was.
Yeah,
he absolutely was.
Yeah, because
Willie said Tibbs messed up and knows got to get ready for Game 7. There's a Game 6 on Thursday, Willie. Moving on. you talking about Game 7?
I told you he trolled.
There's a Game 6.
I told you he trolling.
It's in the back of, you got to remember, it's still in the back of the Detroit Pistons' heads that they have not won a playoff game at home since 2008.
That's a lot of pressure. And
they dropped 2 in a row. And it's still a do or die game for them at home in front of their crowd. This is one of those games where if you're Detroit as a young team, it could actually hurt you more than it could help you.
And the Knicks still have home court advantage. So let's, if it goes to Game 7, I'll take my chances at Game 7 with my team.
And not that we're looking for a Game 7, but Detroit, mark my words, if I be not a prophet of God, Detroit's coming out tight Thursday. I'm telling you, Detroit is coming out tight Thursday.
They might be the only one that may not be, but I think the Knicks defense is going to start going just like they did tonight. They stopped them.
The Knicks defense, listen, Detroit didn't win this game tonight so much as the Knicks lost it. And again, they lost it on the court. I'm not putting it on the coach. Tobias Harris, 6 of 13.
I'm not putting it on the refs.
No, not on the refs at all. Tobias Harris, 6 of 13. Asura Thompson was 8 of 10. He's the only one that got off tonight because he's been terrible the whole series. He will not have another game like this because he can't shoot. He got a bunch of dunks early. That's why he was 8 of 10.
Doran played a great game. Did he have a double-double?
No.
But he played like it though.
Tim Hardaway Jr., 2 for 10. Jalen Duren, 4 of 8. 14 rebounds. He only had 9 points, but he had 14 rebounds.
He's 1 point shy of a double-double. I knew he was close.
He was close. Cade Cunningham, 6 of 17.
What about Malik Beasley?
Malik Beasley 4 of 11. Dennis Schroeder 6 of 13. 1 of 4 from 3. Malik Beasley 2 of 7 from 3.
They score their points in bunches. So
yeah.
It's like they go in spurts. They don't have anybody that's other than Cade that's consistent.
Right. And they don't have that. They don't have anybody other than Cade that can just go out and get a bucket. They don't. They all have to play off of Cade. And if the defense shuts off the water to Cade, or if they play, see, if I'm Thibodeau, I'm just like, because Cade doesn't even really want to shoot the 3 that much either. Listen, Cade and OG one-on-one. We not switching nothing. Everybody stay home. Nobody else on that team's getting a shot because they can't shoot. They are streaky at best. Tim Hardaway had his good game. He had 6 threes in game 1, and they still lost. He hasn't shot like that since. Malik Beasley hit 6 threes in game 1. He has hit 8 total since in games 2, 3, 4, and 5 combined. He's hit 8.
He was 2 for 7 tonight.
They shot 27% from 3 tonight. The Knicks did their job defensively.
It was execution. I'm telling you, it was those.
Their offensive execution was, if they had 3 possessions that didn't end in turnovers, Knicks win this game.
Did they out-rebound Detroit tonight? Because I know they hung with them tough tonight on the boards.
Oh, Mitch hung with them tough on the boards tonight.
Mitchell
Robinson was fantastic tonight.
We've been getting out-rebounded. That's why I wanted to know, did we win the rebounding battle?
Knicks won the rebound battle tonight, 49-45. Mitchell Robinson, here you go, Dave. Mitchell Robinson was a difference maker tonight.
He definitely was. Absolutely.
He was absolutely a difference maker on both sides of the board. He had 8 offensive rebounds. He had about 4 or 5 deflections, and he had 2 blocks. Mitch did his job tonight.
And Tibbs needs to play that double big lineup.
It works. It works. It really, really works.
If Jalen Brunson is off, go double big.
You got to. Even if he's not off, go double big.
But I'm saying put him on the bench like he did tonight in the 4th. He started JB on the bench.
Which was smart. We got back in the game.
Right.
We were down. Because remember, we were down going into the 4th.
We were down. So, I just don't know. Like I said, tonight was a weird game.
Keisha asked, why didn't Tibbs call a timeout to give Brunson a heart? And he had 1 timeout left. The Knicks were down 4 at that point. The Knicks were down 2 at that point.
And they had went out. 2 minutes left.
And it was 2 minutes and 26 seconds left.
Can't call that time out there.
You can't.
You can't go to final 2 minutes and 26 seconds
without a timeout.
You just can't.
Because remember, they had 2 timeouts left, and they had to call timeout to get Hart and Brunson out of the game.
Right.
Because remember, we had the ball, so it wasn't a case where you could have fouled to get them out and maintained your timeout.
And Tibbs tried not to call that
They were trying not
timeout.
to, but Josh couldn't get up fast enough.
He couldn't.
And they ended up having to call that timeout.
So, yeah, you can't call that timeout and then go to final 2:26.
Now, there is a logic that says, if that does happen, you put the ball in JB's hands, and if your JB dive to because you're only down 2, you dive to the basket. If you get blocked, then you take the foul and then get him out. Because even 4-on-5, in the final 5 minutes, you trust Jalen Brunson. You do. So I might have said go. If we miss, then foul. And then got him out and maintained both my timeouts. But again, hindsight is 20/20. Hindsight is always 20/20.
Like I said, I'm not gonna kill Tibbs for the
Josh Hart is being interviewed.
It's the 3rd game in a row. I'm blanking on a game. Game 1 and 2, but we go into the halftime with a lead, and then we go into the 4th quarter down. So we gotta figure that out. We gotta come out at halftime more aggressive.
Absolutely,
and
they should have came out looking to put Detroit away.
sitting there at the scorer's table for a while the clock was going, did you think someone would maybe intentionally foul, or there was one
No,
time
I
that
mean,
looked like
that's tough, because you're not trying to foul. We got stops. We got good looks. Like I said, I trust my guys, and wasn't our day today, but we'll regroup, watch the film, learn from it, and then we got another one on Thursday.
Josh, with the injuries that can pile up in a series like this, how important is it to end this series as fast as you can?
I think everybody in the playoffs, they want to win every game. I don't, I don't.
In other words, you don't want it to come back here for Game 7.
I mean, you want to win every game. If it was, if I had my way, we would have swept them.
Yeah.
Or if they had their way, they would have swept us. We're not looking at that. We just got to make sure we focus on fixing the mistakes that we had today and going to Detroit, ready to go.
This is that time of the year. Everybody's banged up.
Jimmy Butler had a hard fall last night.
Everybody's banged up. This time of year, everybody's banged up.
Yeah, what are you going to do?
Willie
Complain
says
about
again,
it?
he wears out his good tires, and when they go flat, they can't come back. Listen, this is not about Tibbs tonight.
Nah.
It's not.
And y'all know we are the number one Tibbs criticizers on this show.
The minute situation is beating a dead horse. He's not going to change as far as that goes.
But he went eight deep. I can't kill him. He went 8. There's been times in playoffs past he's only going 6. I don't think people realize we've had playoff runs with Tibbs where he's only going 6.
Listen, the other night, JJ only played pretty much 6 guys the entire second half of that game against Minnesota, and they still lost.
They played 24 minutes. The whole starting 5 played 24 minutes and lost that game. And he's gotten killed because he played a 40-year-old 24 minutes. They are destroying him in L.A. for keeping that lineup out there and not subbing nobody in. They're killing him in L.A. right now.
I killed Tibbs during the regular season for moments like this. But at this point in the season, I'm not.
D'Lo, he went 8 deep.
He did. He should have gone 9. Should have gone 9. He should have gone 9.
But
I'm with you though. Can't kill him.
We've suffered through playoff runs where the man is only going 6. He's only going 6.
Yep. Yes, Bishop Heflin, the Magic are done. We'll be Boston in the next round. Keisha, this is for you too, J-Mac. Let me find out. Bishop can't admit he was wrong. Now, Bishop. Your brother said he's not entertaining you tonight.
We are not making this show. We are not. This ain't Kumbaya after dark. No.
Oh yeah, Bernie. Yeah, Bernie. I'm with you, Bishop Eflin. Bernie. JB Bickerstaff is I know you're glad he's out of Cleveland. Your team is much better for it. Willie said this series has been determined by 12 points. If the Knicks were offensively superior, then these scores would be much more lopsided. No, this is the playoffs, Willie.
Is this Willie saying this?
Mm-hmm.
He's trolling for real. He's trolling. Ain't no playoff series been lopsided like that.
Except for the Cleveland Miami
Cleveland series. That's it.
That's the only series that has been lopsided.
Even Boston Orlando hasn't been lopsided
until tonight.
Right.
And quite honestly, Detroit is a better defensive team than Miami. Detroit is a better defensive team than Orlando. They're a better defensive team. The Knicks are They are a top 5 offense, Willie.
He trying to get you started.
No, I'm not going to get started because you can't say after 82 games of being top 5 that they're not offensively superior. They are. What they have done, to their credit, is they have drugged the Knicks down to playing their type of game.
I think you're going to see a different
Now, if the
offense on
Knicks come
Thursday.
out, play faster, make good decisions, don't turn the ball over. The Knicks were top 5 in least turnovers. They turned the ball over 17 times tonight. That doesn't happen. They've been turnover prone in this series. That's not something they normally do. But that does not detract from their offensive prowess. It does not. And y'all think they're going to go home and have this output? Yes, because, Willie, by your same admission, you are who you are, correct? So, yes, the Detroit players are back to what they are. 3rd, 4th, and 5th options on bad teams other than Cade. 3rd, 4th, and 5th options. Tim Hardaway Jr., Dennis Schroeder, Tobias Harris. None of them have ever been Malik Beasley. None of them have ever been above being a 3rd option on a team.
And
None of them.
Beasley was runner up for 6 man, so that tells you he's not a 1. He's not a 2. He's not a 2 or a 3.
Right. Beasley is a 3rd option on this team.
He's not even 3rd option. He's coming off the bench.
So, I mean, So
Yeah.
yes, they're gonna go home and have this output. Detroit turned their franchise around this year and tripled their win total because the NBA had an edict for this season to allow the game to be more physical. And JB Bickerstaff got his team to buy into being a more physical. Detroit wants to beat you down. I think Mike Breen said it during the game tonight. Detroit wants to beat you down.
You said they want to wear you down
and grind you out in a game. And they did that to perfection during the regular season to the tune of 48 wins. Still wasn't enough to get higher than the 6th seed. So what are we really doing here?
Trolling. He's trolling, man.
They are who they are. The Knicks are still the superior team.
If the Knicks lose, it's an upset. It's an upset.
Other than the top 2 teams in this conference, when the Knicks lose to these other teams, they beat themselves.
Absolutely.
Think about it. I watched all 82 games this year. When the Knicks lost 31 times this year, of their 31 losses, I can say that they beat themselves 22 times. There were only 10 games, 8 of which were between the teams that are above them in the conference.
And in the West, yeah. And the West
Knicks
Coast.
beat themselves 22 times. And yes, we blame Tibbs for some of that. So it's the Knicks are an enigma, yes. But I'm not gonna let nobody talk about their offensive superiority when they were a top 5 offense.
And that's not a lie.
The Knicks suffered this year because their defense wasn't that great. I plugged all of this into 2K. I plugged the rosters as they're currently constructed into 2K and just did a simulation of the season as it's currently constructed on Hall of Fame mode, all things being equal. Y'all know computers is my stuff, so this is what I do. I plugged it in. Do you know, all things being equal, the Knicks should have, by virtue of the 2K computers, the Knicks should have won 64 games this year. When the Knicks put this roster together, what did I say at the beginning of the season? This is a 60-win team.
Knicks should have easily at least won 55.
The Knicks beat themselves. The Knicks beat themselves too much. But it does not diminish that offensive prowess.
They can score. Scoring is not the issue.
That's not the issue.
Their defense betrayed them this season, for sure.
Westbrook out here with his nappy head. Well, Westbrook is having a great series. L asked, my question is, brother co-host, are we missing a piece? Yes, a coach.
Yeah,
Yeah, a coach.
I think we're missing another bench, but we need like a 6'7" swingman, 6'8" swingman off the bench. We need something like that off the bench. Our bench.
Well, that's why I'm blaming the coach, because the coach passed on that when he chose. And again, this is not anything bad, but when he chose Landry Shamet over Marcus Morris.
Yeah, if he would have kept Marcus Morris, he was the perfect guy off the bench right now.
A guy who can go get a bucket in isolation
and play defense. He was a two-way player.
Who can play defense, two-way player, in the mold of OG Anunoby, but can anchor your defense and anchor
we
your
had it.
bench.
And you know what? I forgot about that. We did have him. You're right. We cut him.
They signed him and cut him before the season started.
Yes, I remember. I remember.
Right after the
That-
cat trade. Because
That's
once they
what we
made the
need.
cat trade, they made the cat trade and they had to make a decision between him and Landry because they could only keep one, and they decided because they had signed them both. And they decided, well, we can only keep one. They decided to keep Landry Shamet, and they cut Marcus Morris.
That's what we need right now, Butler. A 6'7".
Bishop Designate Burton, my cousin, what's going on?
Yeah. We need a 6'7", 6'8" swing man off the bench. That's what we need.
Agreed, cuz turnovers make or break games. Absolutely true. Kevin Darnell Lewis.
What
you went to okay, Darnell, yeah. Kev, you can't go to Jack Doyle's no more. He said he went to Jack Doyle's again tonight and they lost just like last year. I'm not going there again to watch a game. Yeah, you're not allowed to go to Jack Doyle's no more.
Well,
No more.
when me and Butler went, they win.
Right. Y'all should have went tonight. They had a block party outside the Garden tonight. Anyway.
Because I was just thinking
banged up?
both times I went to Jack Doyle's, the Knicks won. I was just thinking that tonight. I said maybe I should have jumped on the Long Island Railroad.
Maybe. Bishop Heflin said, do you feel they're banged up because of all the minutes? No.
Nah.
I mean, everybody's banged up this time of the year.
Yeah, right now I can't kill Tibbs on the minutes.
No, they're banged up because they're in a physical series.
And he's going 8 deep. So I can't. And I mean, listen, Brunson started the fourth quarter on the bench. When is the last time you seen that? He put him on the bench. Cat spent time on the bench. He was in foul trouble, but he put him on the bench. So I can't kill Tibbs tonight. Even the series, I can't kill him for minutes. I can't.
No. Keisha said JJ was acting like Darvin Ham at the last game. The Lakers are going to Cancun. You're right, Keisha.
What's the score tonight? Are they playing tonight?
They are not playing tonight. Tonight is in the West is Nuggets Clippers. Nuggets lead by 9 as they play in the second quarter.
Oh boy, where's Donald Corey Ballard? This guy, he loved to criticize the Knicks. He loved to come on and criticize the Knicks.
That's what people do. I've just learned that they're just Knick haters out there, and it's okay. You can hate the orange and blue all you want. I'm okay with it. I was going back and forth on X with people pretty much all day today. A bunch of Detroit fans. And this is, and you know this because you and I deal with it all the time. When we spit facts at people, all of a sudden people start moving the goalposts, and I'm like, no, your original statement said this. I debunked this. So how you going to something else completely different? No, stay here. Answer what I just said.
I had to get this lady the other day. I said, you talk about Jalen Brunson as a flopper. He only had 2 free throws in game 4.
So now, and put up 32 and 11. So that narrative's killed.
two free throws. The majority of his points came from the field. Two of his 32 points came from the free throw line.
I'm gonna say this, and as far as the whole Jalen Brunson thing goes, in terms of that nonsense about him being a foul baiter.
They act like he's Trae Young. Now Trae Young is a flopper.
Listen, whether he's a foul baiter or not, there are 2 issues that nobody wants to talk about. Number 1, the league has made it this way based upon how they call games. And stuff that non-basketball moves get called as fouls. I agree with that. Whether it's Jalen or anybody else, I hate that aspect of the game. But especially watching this series, Jalen has made an art of getting inside opposing defenders' heads. What he's done to Ausar Thompson is just unbelievable. Because Ausar Thompson thinks what it is the disrespect for Jalen Brunson is so great that these 6'7" athletic wings just seem to think because of their size and athleticism, I can stop this little 6'2" roly-poly dude. He's slow-footed, but he's smart. So yeah, he's gonna foul you out, stupid, because your ego got in the way. So he's going to use your ego against you, Ausar Thompson.
He picked up some dumb fouls.
Claude was like,
feet of
what is he
48
doing?
feet.
Claude all game was like, what are you doing?
48 feet out. And then you want to complain. I'm like,
It's a foul.
I don't, it,
JB Bickerstaff gets a tech tonight on a stupid challenge, another wasted challenge tonight. You really thought that was? I saw in real time that Tobias is holding Cat's jersey on that play.
he chicken winged
And he chicken winged him with the other hand. He's holding his jersey with his right hand. That's a foul, JB. That's a foul, JB. That's a foul.
Yeah, but Tobias turn around.
You grab a jersey, it's a foul. Like, the ref called it. You burning challenges, JB, and want to be mad. Are you watching the same replays we watching? If you smart, you'd have looked at Tobias and said, don't you ever spin that finger at me ever again.
And the
You
coaches
fouled
are
him.
on the bench. They looking at it before he challenges it. Why his coaches tell him, yeah, go ahead and challenge that? I mean, why would your coaches tell you that?
Because they're all young and dumb. Okay.
Yeah, I'm just bothered that they gotta go back to Detroit, and I just don't want anybody else to get hurt. That's my concern.
Yeah, that's the main thing. Why are we not using pressures, Gerard? I don't know. Especially in a game like tonight where it was nip and tuck. If there's one thing he could have gone. That's why I say he could have gone 9 deep. So even if you don't go to Shamet, go to Precious. He's another big body that you can throw at Jalen Duren.
And a great rebounder.
Great rebounder who can handle Jalen Duren and keep him off the offensive glass and keep him from catching those lobs. Because Jalen Duren was in the dunker spot 1,000 times tonight.
We know we weren't going to see Precious anymore.
It's unfortunate.
We said it before the series started that we weren't going to see Precious Achiuwa anymore unless something catastrophic happened.
My big brother, Pastor Byron Harden, they missed 1,000 shots. They did.
We were talking about earlier, Harden. We were talking about how they missed the threes. They were
missing
down to
threes,
25
missing
from
free
three
throws,
and
not a
missing
25.
free throws.
And they missed 10 free throws in a 3-point game. You missed 10 free throws in a 3-point game.
You're gonna lose.
Mitch was 3 of 6, which I'll take from Mitch.
50%, I'll take it all night.
From Mitch, absolutely. What I can't take is JB missing 4 free throws.
Mentally, he was out of it tonight, too.
Yeah.
And you the captain. You can't be out of it. You got to run that team, even if you're not getting your shot off. You can't let you not getting your shot off affect your game if your shot is not falling.
Bishop Heflin still says Eastern Conference Finals, Cavs, Knicks. Listen, I'm with you on that, and I'll take it. I will take a Cavs, Knicks, Eastern Conference Finals, because at that point it's a crapshoot. Throw the ball up, let's see what happens. I will live with that. He doesn't flop. I agree. Jalen Brunson, because they want to call Jalen Brunson a flopper. He's 6'2", 195 pounds. He's getting hit by 6'7", 230-pound wings. Those are not flops. He's getting knocked around.
Detroit is hip checking a lot, too.
Yeah.
They're hip checking on almost every play. They're hip checking. So, I mean, Thompson hip checked him and he got caught tonight. I mean, it's right there in center court. You're hip checking him at half court in front of the ref. Then they decided to call it tight.
Dr. Harden, Keisha's right. The hate is real against JB. Why are they hating on JB? Because he's wearing orange and blue. Because if he was still wearing that white and blue in Dallas, he'd be hailed as the greatest player ever. They'd be like, go ahead and trade Luka. We got Jalen Brunson. But because he switched to wearing orange and blue, it's a problem.
He's the captain of the orange and blue.
It's the heaviest jersey in the league. Listen, I have never seen so many troll. There was a Sixer fan that I was roasting last year that was in my mentions on X today, and I'm like, what are you doing here? We dealt with you last year. Go back to Cancun with Embiid and the rest of your hurt team. Like, why are you even here?
Embiid and and podcast P, because I don't call him playoff P.
Well, he ain't playoff P this year for sure.
He been
Podcast P.
He been podcast P. That's what he.
I heard he's giving up the podcast, but that's another conversation.
A little too late. A little too late.
Yep. Group chat tomorrow. We going in. I'm not going in with you, Willie. I'm not. I've said what I need to say. Listen, men. In the words of Jay-Z, men lie, women lie, numbers don't. Knicks are a top 5 offense.
Tell him to put up his numbers. That's all.
Listen,
if you
right?
got different numbers than what he's saying.
You've got opinions, but do you have stats to back up those opinions?
On this show, we deal with facts.
And if you don't have stats to back up those opinions, there's nothing I'm going to talk to.
We deal with facts on this show, not a
right, Sam. You grab a jersey in the NFL, it's a penalty. Why did JB not expect it to be a foul in the NBA? Somebody explain that to me.
Not in the NBA playoffs. Not in the Detroit series.
Well, no, Detroit doesn't think those are fouls for some reason. That's good hard basketball. No, that's a foul. Good hard basketball is staying in front of your man, bodying up to him. Absolutely, I'm all for that. It is incidental contact on a drive where you're trying to keep somebody in front of you, and your hands get caught in it. I'm fine with all of that. But some of this stuff I see the Pistons get away with, it's borderline WWE. I want Jacob Fatu to put on a Knick jersey and jump on somebody. Because it's ridiculous.
Thursday,
right, Dr. Harden, you can't win if you don't hit shots or shoot free throws well. Absolutely true. Absolutely true.
What's your prediction for Thursday, my brother?
I said it. I think I was about to call them Boston. I think Detroit comes out tight, and I think the Knicks get out to a nice lead early. I think Detroit makes a run, but I do think Captain Clutch, if he plays, which I think he will, I'm pretty sure he's going to play. I think he closes out Detroit. He's been very good in those must-win closeout games on the road, and he showed that last year in Philly. So I think the Knicks close it out in 6. They ruined my Knicks in 5 prediction tonight, which they shouldn't have ruined it, but they ruined it. But I think they close it out in 6. I don't think there's going to be a Game 7 at Madison Square Garden. I don't think we come back Saturday.
I pray you put it in the atmosphere, brother. I'm going to be out of town for Thursday, but I'm praying. I'm gonna be in Charleston, but I'm praying, man. Oh my gosh, and that's gonna be so excruciating that I'm not gonna be able to look at this game. I'm gonna be. It's gonna be so.
I know. And yes, Dr. Harden, he's an old school baller. JB could have played in the 90s. He plays off 2 feet, very crafty, knows how to use his body, knows how to transfer weight. He knows how to sucker defenders into the air. He is a high IQ player.
He's got Elijah Wan moves in a guard's body.
In a guard's body. Like, it's crazy. Because JB can't coach. Yeah, Bickerstaff can't coach. So you would have packed them up yourself, Bishop Eflin? That's hilarious.
Pack them up.
But that's just it, Dr. Harden. He said Detroit trying to keep the bad boy tradition. This team is not bad boys. This team is a bunch of role players who all of a sudden got tough because they put on a Knick uniform.
Yeah, listen. Detroit had to sign these guys. You know, a lot of them are on 1- and 2-year deals. They're not in long-term deals.
No.
You know, Schroeder got there because of a trade.
Schroeder got traded 47,000 times.
Yeah, he's not going to be there next year.
Malik Beasley, same thing.
Yeah.
Tobias Harris signed a 1-year deal.
Right, coming off of his worst year, those years in Philly when he robbed them. So come on.
Tobias Harris is a transitional player. Like, he's a transitional player for that organization. He won't even be there next year.
I can see Detroit being in the Giannis or KD sweepstakes.
I don't think either of them goes to Detroit.
Yeah, I don't think so either. They're going to try to get one of them though, but either one of them not going to go there.
Now, if Jaden Ivey comes back, because they are missing Jaden Ivey, Jaden Ivey comes back next year, and he's half the player he was starting to be this year. With him and Cade, they got something. But
Yes.
these 30 plus, and that was my thing with this guy on X today who was saying like, oh, the Knicks fans are all acting wild when there's no GM in the league that will want the Knicks roster when Detroit has a bunch of 19 to 23-year-olds. And my point, and I jumped in and was like, who have done nothing in this series other than Cade.
But the Knicks are one of the youngest teams in the league. Am I wrong?
The Knicks core is below 30.
Right. What am I missing?
Because people just like to talk. People like, again, facts over feelings.
Yeah, I'm like,
facts
wait a
over
minute.
feelings.
That's why they talking about this window that the Knicks got, because these guys are basically all young. They're still in their prime, and they're going to be in their prime for the next 3 years.
JB just turned 28. OG is 26.
And Cat is what, 25?
29. Cat is 29. 10 years in the
Yeah.
league. Josh is 29. Mikal is 28.
So they all in their prime.
Deuce is 23. Shoot, Landry Shamet, who has been the oldest player on the Knicks outside of PJ Tucker, because PJ Tucker is the oldest player because he's been in the league forever and he just got here. But all season long till Tucker got here, the oldest player on the Knicks was,
I think it was Payne. Payne was the oldest.
30.
Yeah.
30 years old. That was their old.
Payne,
That's
Dan
the oldest
Payne
player.
was the oldest at 30. until what's his name?
There's your
got
man
here.
right there. Donald Corey Ballard. What's up, bro? Good to see you. Y'all struggling out there against Denver tonight. It's looking a little rough. Denver's up by 10 right now. 8. We're just been back down at halftime.
But
Denver's up by 8 at
I
halftime.
gotta say this publicly. Kawhi Leonard is a throwback 90s player, man. I'm looking at
Kawhi,
his
well, we talked about that. Kawhi
he's
a
got those 1 dribble, 2 dribble pull-ups. You can't block that. Nobody can.
Kawhi Leonard is a 90s type player who does no wasted motion.
None.
Can get to his spot whenever he feels like it and will hurt you every single time. He is a guy that can change a franchise by himself.
If he can stay healthy.
Yeah. Clippers are missing shots. And that's the thing, Keisha. No matter who you are as a team, you're going to have on nights and off nights.
It's a make or miss league. That's what it is.
Especially now.
It's
Honestly,
playoffs.
and I'm not comparing, I'm just drawing a contrast. It was less of a make or miss league in the 90s because you had better defensive teams with a different set of rules. So your defense, because in the night, people want to talk about the low scores in the 90s. Again, basketball is a make or miss game.
You didn't get the gather step back then.
Right. You didn't have a
get
gather
to take
step.
3 steps behind the 3-point line, to the left, to the right, back. You could only do a one step.
Listen,
shot.
there were no quick shot possessions in the playoffs because the playoffs were grinded out in the 90s because everybody knew the importance of one basket because the defenses were so good that and the IQs of the players were so much higher. I have never seen, and listen, again, I keep saying, getting on my soapbox again. I have never seen more low IQ basketball than I've seen in the last 5 to 10 years. Last 5 to 10 years, the IQ of a basketball game has gone down precipitously.
Even the coaches don't have the IQ anymore.
People are like, well, the skill level, these are more skilled players because everybody want a bag, but they don't know how to make the right play in the right situations. Even with my Knicks, transition threes drive me crazy when you're making a run.
They run to the 3-point line now.
You get a big stop. You've cut a 10-point lead to 6, and you get a stop in the open floor. Mikal Bridges, he made it tonight. Mikal Bridges is running to the 3-point line. Drives me nuts. That's not good basketball.
He pulled up for a 3 on the break. He hit it
with an open layup. If he misses that shot, you're handing the momentum back to the other team. Get downhill to the basket. You're either going to score or get fouled, or if you're lucky, both. And you keep the momentum, especially knowing time and place. You're at home. You want to get your crowd going. What's more, threes are cool, but you want to know what's more backbreaking? A run and an and one layup or an and one dunk. That's more backbreaking because the roof blows off your arena and the other team starts putting their heads down. But no, you're going to take that three, which analytics is saying is the better shot. But again, make or miss league. That's a 35 to 40% shot, whereas a dunk or a layup at the rim is an 80 to 90% shot. I'm taking my chances with the 80 to 90% shot. Especially if that shot is not going to tie or give me the lead. I'm still down 6. What am I shooting a 3 for? It's 9 minutes to go. It's plenty of time. Let me get this short 2, get back and get another stop. Because also, the more stops I get on defense, the more it demoralizes the other team. Low IQ basketball.
Yep.
Coming off a pick. You're running a pick and roll play. You come off the pick. You just go to the extended. You go to the 3-point extended, and you're taking a 3. 4 seconds into the shot clock. What are we doing? Low IQ basketball.
That's D'Antoni basketball.
D'Antoni ruined the league. Because he's got these guys thinking that that's high IQ. That's not. Guys ISOing, going 1-4, and you got to take, and JB is guilty of this, you got to take 17 dribbles to get to your spot. No! Melo wasn't, everybody who talks about Melo says Melo was an assassin. See, I'm not even going back to the 90s. I'm going to go to somebody who y'all know because y'all new generation people saw Melo from his prime to the end of his career. Y'all saw him play. Everybody in his generation and even some in this generation are saying that dude was the coldest, just like Kawhi, because he could get to his spot whenever he felt like it with one dribble.
And Kawhi got those big hands, man. I mean, he's basically palming the ball like a grapefruit, man.
Well, they don't call him the claw for nothing.
Yeah, he's palming.
Melo had that quick jab step, one dribble, and his release was so quick. Before you could do anything, he was already shooting over you.
I remember when Randall was here, he was working out with Randall on those 2 dribble, 1 dribble pull-ups.
Right. I remember they was playing that 1-on-1 game where Melo said, 3 dribbles, that's all you get.
That's it.
Yep. We gonna play 1-on-1, but you get 3 dribbles. And he's teaching Cayenne to play the same way. Yeah. Because that's what makes you an assassin. Because at the end of the day, the game is about getting a bucket as quickly as you possibly can. Knowing where to see your advantages and get it. Not tween, come back, step back, and now you gotta travel and carry, and the league allows it. You gotta travel and carry to get your shot.
I still can't believe you could take 3 steps on a step back. You could take 3 steps to the left, 3 steps to the right on a step back. And how are you giving somebody?
I could see you giving somebody a gather step if they're going downhill, but how are you giving somebody a gather step on a step back? They're already dribbling.
You give them a gather on the step back, and I mean that's why people are like, oh, the '90s players. Well, give the '90s players your trainers. Give the '90s players your rules. You give these guys those rules. You think Isaiah Thomas with a 3 dribble step back wouldn't kill y'all? He was killing y'all dribbling in the box. He called it the crossover in the box. He was killing y'all with that. You think if he didn't have the same opportunity to get an extra step,
Bernard King,
3 steps to the left, 3 steps. Bernard King getting 3 extra gather step. You think Bernard King wouldn't destroy y'all?
Michael Jordan.
I didn't even want to go there with Jordan and
I'm gonna go there. Mike, Kobe, go 80s. Bernard King, Joe Dumars, Vinnie Johnson.
Let Reggie Miller get 3 dribbles to the left or 3 dribbles to the right.
I'm gonna really make them mad. Jeff Hornacek. Give Jeff Hornacek a gather step.
Give John Stockton one.
Give Sean Kemp a gather step on his dunks.
Gary Payton. Give Gary Payton that.
Oh my God. Give Allen Iverson that.
Well, I got one. Give Elijah one that.
Forget it. Forget it. He'd have broke Wilt's record because he'd have just been scoring on everybody. Give Patrick Ewing a gather step. Like, the rules change. And again, I'm not mad at the rule change. I understand the game has to evolve. But just because something has evolved does not mean it evolved for the better. And that's the thing that people, well, the game has evolved. Yes, but is it better? No.
Viewership is down.
Because cats are coming down and just chucking threes.
It's not because they watch it. It's not because they watching it on the stream. No, numbers are down across the board.
I mean, they might be up this playoffs because there's been some really good series. But to a man, like you said, the numbers are down. And it's down not because LeBron, the legends from the 90s are talking down about this generation's players. That's not, but because you got high IQ guys who are watching this game going, what is this?
What's happening?
Kenny Smith was a high IQ guard from Queens, New York. The point guard Mecca.
Bishop
You don't
Loughlin?
think Kenny... Yep.
Or Bishop Loughlin, right?
Yeah, he went to Loughlin. Kenny Smith is looking at these guys like, what are y'all doing?
You know, I've still yet to see that documentary on the point guards of New York. I gotta check that.
I haven't had a chance to watch it yet either. I'm sure it's fantastic.
Yeah, I gotta watch it. It's about a year old now, but I gotta check it out.
And those of y'all, if you watch Melo on 7 p.m. in Brooklyn, yo, for all that talk of Melo being selfish or whatever, I realize more and more as I listen to him, he was very calculated in what he was doing as a player and the way he played based upon the teams that he was on. Because the more he discusses his career and how he played with each team, Melo was doing what needed to be done. A high IQ player. Did he shoot a lot? Yes, because he had to.
Just like Iverson had to shoot. There's players on certain teams that have to. They had to carry the mail.
I'm glad you said this, Bishop Heflin. Bishop Heflin said fundamentals went out the window because I had a young cat, one of the young lions, come at me on TikTok on a post where I was talking about the fundamentals and how fundamentals are lacking. And he decided to go dictionary definition with me, and I had to cut him up. These young boys, they just don't understand. He said, well, the fundamentals are a foundation. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You're supposed to evolve from that. Yes, absolutely true. So I told him, so based upon your logic, which is absolutely accurate, I agree with, what has evolved around the bags of the current players that says that their foundation is strong? Because if the foundation is strong, then shooting percentages should be up and not down. Scoring is up, yes, but percentages are actually down. To a man, if you look at 90s guys and their career shooting percentages versus the shooting percentages of this current generation who are in love with the three-point shot, you will see that turnovers are up, shooting is down, free throws are up, defense is down. So tell me, what about the current fundamentals? Because if what you're saying is correct and your generation is better, then they should be eclipsing every number of the previous generation. And that's not happening. Why did it take LeBron so many more games to be able to match Jordan's 30-point games? And again, not a dig at LeBron. I'm just saying, based upon your logic, why is that not better? Couldn't answer me.
Crazy.
All right, I'm not the one to have this conversation with because I keep telling these young cats, I played the game at a high level. I coach the game now, and I'm still a student of the game. Facts, figures, stats, that's my wheelhouse. I'm not the guy you want to have this debate with because I'm going to come to you with the numbers. That's it.
The numbers bear it out. It's simple as that.
What did you say, Keish? Did y'all see Reggie Miller interview? You should see what he said about this generation versus the 80s and 90s. I saw bits and pieces of it. I haven't watched the whole thing yet. Keisha said I wouldn't say the numbers are down because of IQ of the game. I think it also has a lot to do with the... No. This has nothing to do with the referees. Because the referees don't take shots. The referees don't take shots. The referees don't drive to the basket. The referees are not between the lines playing the games. The referees have a job to do. Is the officiating bad currently? Yes, because I think the current crop of NBA officials, for the most part, are awful. And I think we all agree on that. But the numbers are down because of the IQ of the players. Because one of the things I love about the high IQ players of yesteryear was the fact that and how they worked the officials in games. And we're good at it. Because that's what IQ does.
Yeah.
Mark Jackson could go over during the timeout and tell a ref, yo, on this spin every time this guy's doing X, Y, and Z. And the ref would look, and he was right. And the ref would have to make a call. This generation just wants to complain about calls. And again, I'll use today's Pistons as a perfect example. This is a team that wants to, again, claim physicality, but don't understand what physicality actually is. Physicality is not about grabbing jerseys. Physicality is not about hip checks. Physicality is about in-your-face, aggressive, legal defense, which the bad boys played. This is why guys, even offensively, this is why guys say Paul George, LeBron, they say it till this day. We hate playing against Carmelo Anthony because he's one of the most physical offensive guys. Because he's a high IQ player that knew how to use his body on the offensive end and not cause offensive fouls. How many offensive fouls did Melo get called for?
Not many.
But these guys are like, yo, we got beat up trying to guard Melo. He knew how to use his body legally. That's high IQ.
I've heard Paul Pierce say it. He said,
Paul Pierce was yo, I didn't want to guard Melo. He was like, we was at the play Melo. I didn't want no part. He was talking to Tony Allen. He said, I was glad you was on the team. He was like, you get Melo.
Yeah, because he had to go home and take an ice bath.
Yeah.
He's so beat up. Yeah. Oh, well. Knicks, come on, man. Thursday, Game 6.
Thursday night, Game 6, back in Detroit. We will be on with our post game at the end of that game. J-Mac will be traveling, so he won't be with us. But I'm sure he'll try to jump in the comments if he can.
I'm going to try to jump in the comments.
But
for sure.
I will be here with you looking to get your takes, questions. We'll tune in to the post game as well, get some takes from the podium post game, and hopefully we will be celebrating a New York Knicks win on Thursday night. As always, it's still orange and blue skies. Looking for orange and blue skies over Detroit on Thursday night. Until then, Pistons win 106-103. Game 6 Thursday night in Detroit. Have a great night, everyone. We'll see you Thursday night.
Yo, this is the state of emergency. Check. I need all my Knicks fans right now to grab your jerseys, your popcorn, your sodas, whatever you gotta do to get ready for this game. I don't care if you're a cheerleader, an athlete, a couch potato. We're here to restore the feeling. Matter of fact, can you say it from New York what I say from New York? Hey yo, let's go Knicks!
Hey yo, I bring that New York energy. Talking 42nd Street, alley hoop finger roll. Ain't nobody checking me. Crossover through the legs, step back, hit it 3. Still up in the hood, but got big baller tendencies. She just trying to get flued out to John Kennedy just to see the Knicks play, make a couple memories. New York, if you ain't from here, don't pretend to be. And if you ain't rocking with the Knicks, you an enemy. Yeah, look at us, whole city is wild. This is New York, why y'all ever counted us out? Any game we attend, yeah, we taking it now. Fast break on the court, all up and down. Lead a garden in the pigsty, yeah, we get it on this side. Bacon, egg, and cheese, or the lobster mac with the ribeye. Either way, we winning the overtime if we get tired. Get it with the team, yeah, that's just something we live by. Hey, yo, first quarter in, we gon' turn it up. Gotta warm up first, then we taking it dub. By the third quarter in, no, they ain't catching
got you, baby.